The Americans are off to a flaming hot start to the season as they hold sole possession of first place and lead the league in batting average. They got their flowers outside the stadium today as fans had the chance to meet them. But today, Sal Magley is about to get stinky as another nasty starting lineup comes to town. It's the team that snagged the final West Division playoff spot a year ago, beating them out by just one game. This year, they're off to a strong 3-1 start of their own. It's the Americans. It's the Tarp Skunks. It's PGCBL baseball right here on the Americans Baseball Network.
That the ace of the Giant pitching staff that season was Niagara Falls native Sal Magley. A league low 2.71 earned run.
They chose Niagara Falls because of the stadium, because of the history, because they believe in Niagara Falls.
Tickets 716-215-6161.
And where do you play?
We play right at Sal Magley, gorgeous stadium.
Set the 1-0 to Boyle. Is hammered to right field.
Go, baby, go, baby, go.
Come
baby,
here,
go,
fence!
Baby.
That ball is way out of here.
Welcome in to Sal Magley Stadium. It's the second game of the season here for the Americans. Today, they are hosting the Jamestown Tarp Skunks for the first matchup between these teams all season. Now, these are two teams that have really gotten off to a flaming hot start. The Tarp Skunks have a 3-1 record right now. They split with the Muck Dogs, took down the Pioneers and Ironbacks. Americans beat the Muck Dogs and then swept the Ironbacks in a home-and-home. So very strong starts for both of these teams. Let's see how they fit into the PGCBL playoff picture at large right now. Very early, but the Americans hold sole possession of first place. They are undefeated. It is a 3-0 record for the Americans right now compared to the next best teams, the Doubledays and Pilots, both at 2-0. They drew on Friday, so that prevented either of them from catching Niagara Falls. Tarp Skunks at 3-1 hold the fourth and final playoff spot as of right now, but the Muck Dogs right on their tail at 3-2, currently in action in a doubleheader against the Niagara Ironbacks. Elmira Pioneers, Niagara Ironbacks, and Geneva Red Wings are in the basement of the PGCBL, all searching for their first win. The Pios or Red Wings will get it today as they're facing each other as of right now. We'll get you some brief score updates here in the PGCBL in just a moment. But it is a packed slate. Every single team in this West Division has action today. And right now, only a couple games currently active, but there are a couple starting off a little later as well. The Muck Dogs up 4-1 on the Ironbacks in the bottom of the sixth. And the Red Wings and Pioneers were just about to kick off their game around the same time that we do here at Sal Magley Stadium. So we're going to have opening ceremonies here in just a moment. Got some Americans out on the field, stretching, warming up. And we've got some great baseball ahead of us right here. And back at Sal Magley Stadium, back at Sal Magley Stadium after the road trip to George Taylor Field yesterday, but now that the Americans are home, a couple of deals for the fans are in play. First up with McDonald's, a free McCafe frap with 3 Americans runs. Americans are, as always, sponsored by McDonald's. And if any Niagara Falls American hits a home run today, the lineups for this game, we'll give you the Tarp Skunks lineup here on the broadcast. They'll be up batting first. It's going to be Brady McGuire leading it off in this stacked lineup. He's playing left, the 400 hitter thus far. Nathan Borchert doing the catching, batting second. Justin Bremner in center field will bat third, holds the sole home run for the Tarp Skunks. Jacob Haynes will bat cleanup and play first. And then Nolan Smith batting 5th, the extra hitter. Ty Lagoni batting 6th and playing 3rd. And all 6 of these top 6 hitters batting over 300. So a very impressive start for this Tarp Skunks lineup. Bottom of the order, not as strong, but still some good names in here. Eric Weeks in right field, bats 7th, 143 average to start the year. Brady Marshall, number 28, will play shortstop. He bats 8th. And then Nico Frizzle and Aiden Nolasco, typically off the bench, but will bat 9th and 10th today. Nolasco at second base. So, public address announcing that Tarp Skunks lineup as we speak. And this is one of the better ones in the PGCBL right now. It's a shallow depth chart in terms of the batters, but that means the best bats are in the lineup almost every single day. They've gotten lots of reps and made the most of them. Nolan Smith, product of Cortland. He's a 340 hitter over there, 333 here for the Tarp Skunks. And normally the first baseman, but he'll be the extra hitter today, as I mentioned. A couple of Seton Hill studs in Jacob Haynes and Brady McGuire. That's Division II. Haynes has a 950 OPS. McGuire has a 907 OPS in their recent college seasons. And they are both above 800 in OPS so far this year. So they're going to be big pieces on this Tarp Skunks team. Some other teams with a high presence here on this Jamestown roster, some other colleges include High Point, include Canisius, and Gannon University. As Yankee Doodle Dan comes out onto the field, the Americans in arena host will get ready for the national anthem in just a moment. But first, we will head to the lineup for the Americans. It's going to be Grant Moore in left field leading things off today. He's batting .500. One of the most consistent hitters in the lineup thus far. Derek Jesmondi makes his debut in right field. He'll bat second. Dalton Harper back behind the dish batting third. Jake Hollins in center will bat cleanup. So 3 lefties out of the first 4. Then it switches. Paul Delanto, the DH, the righty batting 5th. Dylan Treadway making his debut at first grade, and Miller's got the day off. Tristan Raley making his debut at second. Gazaldo also has the day off. Logan Stickler, the extra hitter, bats 8th. Alan Ramos, the Wagner commit, making his debut in batting 9th. And then Brady Bowles, the Panola teammate of Gazaldo, of Tristan Raley, will round out this lineup and play shortstop. And they are being brought out to the field right now. Here's the debuting Treadway. Product of Jamestown Community College. Has been there for just 1 year, looking to continue to grow as a hitter.
The extra hitter for tonight's game, batting 8th from York College of Pennsylvania, number 17, Logan Strickler. Batting 9th and playing the hot corner from Wagner College is number 4, Alan Ramos. And batting 10th is the shortstop from Panola College, number 10, Brady Bowles. Towing the rubber for the Americans today from SUNY Niagara is number 32, Keegan Bazinet. At this time, please welcome the rest of your Niagara Falls Americans.
So as our PA announcer, Doc Fonts, referenced, Keegan Bazinet will be the starting pitcher for the Americans today. We'll have more on him in just a moment, but first we'll pause for the national anthem.
And Roy B. Kelly of Lockport City School District as they perform the Star Spangled Banner. Take it away. Anna Merritt Elementary, and Roy E. Kelly from the Lockport City School District.
And we welcome you back here on the Americans Baseball Network. And as I mentioned earlier, before the national anthem, it'll be Keegan Bazinet on the mound today for the Americans. Started some games over at SUNY Niagara this season, a 1-0 record, 3.86 ERA, and 26 strikeouts. So he had a mix of games out of the pen and in the starting and as a starter over at SUNY Niagara. But today, he'll be the starter after one relief appearance for the Americans against Batavia earlier this week. But first, we have Frankie Morris, one of our own Americans interns who just threw out the ceremonial first pitch. Grew up with Dalton Harper, the catcher, who takes a picture with Frankie Morris as she walks off the field. We get ready to get underway here as Bazinet begins to warm up. Keegan Bazinet, one relief appearance for the Americans thus far. Struck out one, did not give up any runs, but he is no stranger to starting games. As I mentioned, started a handful over at SUNY Niagara this season. Held a 3.86 ERA over there. Impressive numbers for Bazinet. And we've got a meeting out on the field between the two managers. Paul Wolf managing the Americans alongside Will Cordero. And then Frank Jagoda managing the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. They meet with today's umpires as we get ready to get underway. It'll be Brady McGuire, Nathan Borchert, and Justin Bremner due up in this top of the first inning. So the first batter that Bazinet will face as a starting pitcher this season is Brady McGuire. McGuire, a 400 hitter thus far for the Tarp Skunks, and debuted a couple days ago after finishing up his season over at Seton Hill. Already has 2 RBIs for the Tarp Skunks, but he's got some power as he showed over at Seton Hill. He had 4 homers, 28 RBIs over there. And there's a reason he's in this leadoff role. He stole 24 bases on 29 attempts in his collegiate season. So looking to get his steal numbers up as a leadoff hitter here for Jamestown today. But first, he's going to have to get on base, potentially improve upon his 400 batting average, 800 OPS. Far from the only Seton Hill player on this team. He's here alongside Jacob Haynes, who will bat cleanup in today's lineup. And these guys are staples here on this Tarp Skunks team. Both batting .333 or higher. So some quick final announcements before we get underway here as Brady McGuire prepares to step into the batter's box. So McGuire, a rising sophomore from Seton Hill, had a great freshman year there and looking to build off of it by continuing a strong freshman summer. Drives it up the middle, and that will be caught by the second baseman, Tristan Raley, and already a line out into his glove in his very first time playing for the Americans. So the line out into Raley's glove, the incoming freshman to Panola. That'll bring up Nathan Borchert, the catcher. So Borchert joining fellow catcher Dalton Harper in the home plate circle here. Lefty batter's box to face the righty Bazinet. First pitch goes low for the ball. And Brady McGuire was retired quickly for out number 1. Borchert taking another ball low as Bazinet looks to refine his command of the strike zone on a 2-0 count right here with 1 down. That one going to be outside, so now 3 balls on the count. We'll see if Borchert gets the green light here. It's possible. The .313 hitter, you don't see green lights often in the PGCBL, but this might be a rare situation. He will not go, but that hits the low outside corner for strike 1. We got a 3-1 count. See what Borchert can do with that. Count in his favor. Bazinet delivers. And chopper up the middle. The Baltimore chop, it drops. And the base hit by Nathan Borchert on a very weird bounce off of home plate. So Borchert is on base for the Americans. Or, excuse me, for the Tarp Skunks. The Americans leave. The Americans have a runner on base as Bazinet tries to keep things in control here. And here is Justin Bremner, the number 3 hitter here for the Tarp Skunks. Swings and misses on the strike. Bremner, .438 hitter, leads the Tarp Skunks in batting average. Has the only home run for the team that came on opening night. Another swing and miss, and he's down to a 0-2 in the count. .02 pitch coming from Bazinet. 1 strike away here against Justin Bremner. Over Bremner's head for the ball. So Justin Bremner has the 1-2 count now. Just outside. That evens things up. And Bazinet looking to stay in this. He was up 2-0, or excuse me, 0-2 early. 2-2 is driven up the middle into center field. Holland's chasing after it, but it drops in the gap for the base hit. And scurrying back to first base is Justin Bremner. He thought he could have had more for a second, but wasn't going to be able to get that in time. So it's first and second. 2 hits already for the Tarp Skunks as Bremner and Borchert are on base. And they will rule that an error. My apologies. So reaching on the error in center field. Or excuse me, the first one was an error, but a base hit to load the bases now. Runners holding up at second and third. Bremner and Borchert. So to clarify things here, Jacob Haynes on first base with the single. Bremner also had a single, and Borchert reached on the error. So it's 2 hits and 1 error in the inning. As Nolan Smith, the Cortland product, comes up to bat. And our scorer, Riley Drew Cross, has seen plenty of this guy over for the Red Dragons. That one driven into left field. Coming under it will be Grant Moore for out number 2. Coming home, a Borchert attempt. He slides in safely for the run. And another run coming in as the ball gets away. They'll say he's safe as well. Early 2-0 lead for Jamestown. So, first run coming in on the sac fly. Another coming in after the errant throw. And 2 runs will score on that one as Ty Lagoni comes up to bat. Taken inside for ball 1 with the man on second. Nolan Smith. Jacob Haynes. Bazinet checks Haynes, throws another one outside on Lagoni. Ty Lagoni has started every game here for the Tarp Skunks, mix a third base and shortstop, or at least almost every game, and he is batting .308. That is pop foul behind home plate into the stands to make it 2-1. And Ty Lagoni comes from Patrick and Henry Community College. Very similar numbers over there. .306 batting average, .1001 OPS, 8 homers, 34 RBIs. Bazinet checks again and throws outside for ball 3. It's been a tough first inning against a very tough top 6 in this Jamestown lineup. Every one of these guys batting over 300, and it is showing in each of these at-bats, a tough one after tough one. Bazinet delivers on the 3-1 for a strike on the outside corner. Fills up the count. So full count, 2 outs. This is the inning right here. Jamestown has the chance to either expand on their lead, or the Americans with the chance to hold it at 2. Grounder, and bobbled by the third baseman. That heads into the outfield. That's going to be another error, as sliding into second safely is Ty Lagoni. So the error on the new Americans' third baseman today, Alan Ramos, as another run scores. It's 3-0 Jamestown. The Americans cannot let this one get out of hand so early. So another run scoring on that one. Ground ball thrown across field to first base. That'll be out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Alan Ramos making up for his error by recording the final out of the inning. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Welcome back for the bottom of the first inning, and the Americans, for the first time this season, are down multiple runs. Jamestown leads 3-0, headed into the bottom of the first, and we will introduce you to the Tarp Skunks starting pitcher who is warming up right now. It's Cohen Harris. At Division I High Point, a 13.50 ERA in very limited opportunities. He pitched 1 1/3 innings, gave up 2 runs. Also made a 2-inning start here for the Tarp Skunks earlier this season. Struck out 4 in that one. So Cohen Harris will make his second start of the season for Jamestown. And the Americans will look to increase his ERA that is currently spotless for this team. And we'll give you a quick reminder of the Americans lineup as they come up. Grant Moore, Derek Gismondi, and Dalton Harper are due up in the inning. And here comes Grant Moore, the leadoff hitter. Multiple hits in every single game he's played thus far for the Americans. So he's batting .500. Check swing. They'll say he went for strike 1. May have caught the outside corner of the strike zone. So that could be why as well. But nonetheless, strike 1 on Grant Moore. A little further outside for the ball. Moore will not bite that time, even try. So the count is even up. Moore, product of Mount Vernon Nazarene University, swings and misses on strike 2. And Grant Moore also stole multiple bases yesterday. Had a stolen base, at least one, on each of his first 2 hits. Count is evened up at 2-2. As Moore readies. We've got a bird flying over Sal Magley Stadium as Grant Moore grounds that up the middle for a base hit. Another leadoff single for Grant Moore. And he has now done that in 2 consecutive games ever since he became the leadoff hitter for this team. It was Ian Huang leading off the first couple games. He's had a couple days off this weekend. Potentially the chance to come back into the lineup on Tuesday when this team travels to Jamestown. Moore goes on ball 1. Throw is missed. Moore is safe. So another stolen base by Grant Moore. My goodness, Grant Moore can run. Four stolen bases over the last 2 games now for Grant Moore. And Harris will have to check him as he throws to Jesmondi another outside ball. And Grant Moore's base running has been throwing off pitchers all week long. He's stolen third a couple times as well. Pitch from Harris. Similar spot outside for ball 3. And these lefty hitters have taken a lot of those pitches outside over the righty batter's box. It's 2 straight lefties to start this off here for the Americans today. It was Moore who's on second, now Jesmondi. It's a 4-pitch walk. First and second for the Americans. Moore would have been there anyway with the steal. And here comes Dalton Harper. Still looking for his first hit this season, but walked a couple times yesterday. And there's no time like the present for hit number 1 when 2 runners on, nobody out. We'll see if he can get it here against the starter Harris. Jamestown, notably more of a bullpen team. Their starters will go a couple of innings. Ground ball to the shortstop Marshall. Everybody in safe. It's an infield single for Dalton Harper on the high chopper. So Dalton Harper is on base with his first hit of this season with the Americans. Had plenty last year with his .269 batting average. But here comes Jake Hollins, another returnee, with the bases loaded. .385 hitter, 1077 OPS, one of the highest on the team. It's been an extra base hit machine this season. That catches the outside corner for strike 1. So Jake Hollins, pair of doubles yesterday. An RBI triple against the Ironbacks on Friday. See if the extra base hit party can continue today as he takes ball 1 outside. So bases loaded. It's Moore on third, Jesmondi on second, and Harper on first, who had the infield single to Brady Marshall. Marshall just not getting the throw off in time. Ball 2 outside. And Cohen Harris continues to struggle against these lefty batters. Hollins, the third lefty in 4 batters here. And even the righty Harper getting a hit off of Cohen. Harris sets for the 2-1, another one outside. So just how Bazinet did, Cohen Harris struggling to find the strike zone here in this bottom of the first inning. He'll have a meeting with his catcher, Nathan Borchert. And we'll see how this is going to impact the rest of Harris's at bat facing Hollins' at bat facing Cohen Harris. Hollins already the 4th batter of the inning. And nobody is out here for the Americans. Bases are loaded. Americans looking to narrow this 3-run lead the Tarp Skunks had. And it's ball 4 outside for Jake Hollins. Cohen Harris walks in a run. You don't want to do that. Just not something you want to see as a starting pitcher. A run being walked in. So Hollins will get the RBI on the walk. And here comes the number 5 hitter, Paul Delanto, DHing for the 3rd consecutive day and taking ball 1 outside. Delanto, the product of Stony Brook, a .375 hitter, .819 OPS. Has the bases loaded with nobody out. It's been 2 hits and 2 walks. Given up by Harris. High fly ball. Caught by the shortstop, Brady Marshall, for out number 1. So Marshall backs up into the outfield and catches the fly out with the bases still loaded. And we've got a string of Americans debuts coming up in this lineup. It starts with Dylan Treadway. Dylan Treadway, product of Jamestown Community College. Finished his freshman year there just now. Super utility, can play infield and outfield, but he's at first today, filling in for the resting Graydon Miller. Inside ball 1 on Dylan Treadway. Batted 158 over at Jamestown Community College, but hoping to improve upon that here this summer against a team located in the town of his community college. Outside ball 2 on Treadway by Cohen Harris. So this is a bit of a reunion in a way for Treadway. He's a Jamestown Community College student going up against a Jamestown summer ball team. He chose to come here to Niagara Falls. He is local to this area, so it makes sense that he would come home. He attended Amherst High School. Has the 2-0 count right now. Fouls strike 1 off down the third base line where manager Paul Wolf is standing and serving as third base coach in game. Stepping back on the mound, Harris. Treadway with the count in his favor. Looking to continue this rally for the Americans. And the 2-1, Harris sets, delivers. Grounded foul by Treadway to even up the count with 1 down and the bases juiced. Treadway steps back into the batter's box. Standing close to the edge. Swing and a miss. Down goes Treadway on strike 3, swinging. It's been 2 consecutive outs with the bases loaded. The Americans did get a run on the board, but they do not want to strand 3 runners, especially when they're down by 2. And we've got another Americans debut coming up here. It's Tristan Raley, the second baseman today, filling in. Incoming to Panola College, will join 4 of his Americans teammates there in the fall. He got hit on the foot right there. Run will score. Bases remain loaded. It's 3-2 Tarp Skunks as the Americans already closing in on what was once a 3-run deficit. So the run scoring on the Raley hit by pitch. Cohen Harris has given up 2 hits, 2 walks, and hit a batter to allow 2 runs, 3 more on the base paths. The tying run now at third in the form of Dalton Harper. And the go-ahead run at second is Jake Hollins. At first base, it's Tristan Raley. Big meeting on the mound now to address a tough first inning here by Cohen Harris. And they will break Manager stepping off. Infielders returning to their posts. Catcher Nathan Borchard as well. And up to bat for the first time this season is Logan Stickler. Stickler, a bit of a two-way player, hit and pitched in high school. Serves as the extra hitter today. Recent York College commit of York College of Pennsylvania, that is. Pitch from Harris. Goes in the low outside corner, but they'll say he goes on the check swing. Strike one on Logan Stickler. 2.41 ERA as a pitcher in high school. 4.83 batting average. So he can do it all. Let's see how it translates to the PGCBL. Strike two. Down the pike by Harris. Stickler will not bite. Be interesting to see how Stickler's confidence improves as he gets more opportunities here in the PGCBL. Harris sets for the 0-2, delivers, swing and a miss. And Stickler strikes out, strands 3 runners. We'll head to the top of the second after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We are back for the top of the second inning, and this second inning is brought to you by Bully Hill Vineyards, a great place to grab lunch and taste over 40 different wines. Go to bullyhillvineyards.com for more. And the top of the second rather, starting up. And it'll be Brady Marshall, Nico Frizzle, and Aiden Alasco, the final 3 batters in the Tarp Skunks lineup, due up for this inning as they hold on to a 3-2 lead, looking to expand on it. Keegan Bazinet gave up 3 in the first inning, looking to recover from the rocky start. Marshall drives that into right field for the base hit. The center fielder, Hollins, shifting over to pick it up, but Brady Marshall on base to start off the second inning. And the hits have continued to come in here against Bazinet, as Marshall heads to first. Nico Frizzell, the DH, will bat ninth in this lineup. He comes up with a runner on first in the form of Brady Marshall. Nobody out yet. Tarp Skunks and Americans each have hit totals matching their run totals. And headed to second base on the wild pitch is Brady Marshall. Marshall will take second. And now Bazinet has a runner in scoring position to worry about after he already gave up 3 in the first inning. These Tarp Skunks are tough customers. Bazinet checks the runner, delivers on the 1-0. That's fouled. Pop foul back into the stands to even up the count. As kids are running after the ball, trying to pick it up. It's well known here at Sal Magley that free baseballs can be exchanged for free snacks at concessions. That one taken inside as Frizzell has to dodge ball 2. Got another bird flying over the field. And pretty sure that's not our mascot, Apollo, but strike 2 to even up the count. As Bazinet faces Nico Frizzell. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on Nico Frizzell. Brings up Aiden Alasko with 1 on and 1 out. It's the first strikeout recorded by Bazinet in this game and his second of the season. That first one coming in a relief appearance in Batavia on Wednesday. And here's Aiden Alasko with 1 on and 1 out. That runner, Marshall, now on second. Advanced there on a wild pitch after the single. 1 ball and no strikes on Nolasco. Nolasco, it's his second start as a Tarp Skunk. Started the opener at second. And that's a pop-up. Headed down into the middle of the infield. And sliding in to catch it is Dylan Treadway. So Nolasco pops out to the first baseman. Marshall stranded on second. Rather stays there as Brady McGuire comes up to attempt to drive him in with 2 outs. This is the second time, that Bazinet will be facing McGuire today. His first time up. Line out to the second baseman, Rayleigh. Catches the low outside corner for strike 1. Bazinet searching for his second strikeout. You got 2 productive outs in the strikeout and pop-up to hold Marshall at second. Foul ball down the third base line, and Bazinet is 1 strike away. Those strikeouts and pop-outs have been helping him out all inning long to keep Marshall from scoring and expanding this Tarp Skunks lead. Can he get 1 more here in the form of the leadoff hitter, Brady McGuire? Bazinet checking the runner a couple times. Down the pike but high for ball 1. Stepping back into the batter's box, Brady McGuire came into this game with a .400 batting average. Lined out his first time up. We'll see what he can do here with the runner on second. An inside ball 2. 2's across the board now. Balls, strikes, and outs. Bazinet started this out with the count well in his favor at 0-2. Now McGuire battling through this at bat. As I mentioned, a tough customer. Ground ball. Ramos throws across the field to Treadway to record the final out of the inning. And the Americans will be up right after this. Ramos, Bowles, and more. We'll be right back. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Welcome back here to Sal Magley Stadium for the bottom of the second inning. And fans, did you know American season tickets are just $99? Come be a part of the fun this summer at Sal Magley Stadium. Stop by the concession stands and pick up your season tickets today to be a part of this historic season in Niagara Falls. So the Americans down just 1 run after they nearly matched Jamestown's 3-run top of the first with 2 runs in the bottom of the first. And they will try to tie it up or maybe even take the lead here in this second inning. Alan Ramos will be the first man up here to face the Tarp Skunks in this second inning. And Cohen Harris, despite a rough first inning, will continue to pitch here for the Tarp Skunks. Harris, now 3 total innings pitched and 2 earned runs across them. So a 6 ERA headed into this second inning.
Leading off the bottom half of the second for the Americans is third baseman number 4, Alan Ramos.
And here is Alan Ramos coming up to bat. For the first time as an American, as I mentioned, the bottom of the order, a string of Americans debuts. And Ramos is a D1 Wagner commit. Went to high school in the Bronx, a school where 9 players got drafted into Major League Baseball over the years. Strike 1 on him from Cohen Harris. Americans more errors than hits so far. They're looking to change that. That's down for strike 2 on the bottom. Strike 2 on the bottom edge of the strike zone. 0-2 from Harris outside. Clearly over that lefty batter's box. To make it a 1-2 count, Ramos stays alive here after going in the 0-2 hole early. Pitch from Harris, swing and a miss. Ramos retired. That's 3 strikeouts by Cohen Harris in the last 4 at-bats. As Brady Bowles, the final hitter in this Americans order, comes up to bat. This is his Americans debut, but certainly familiar with a lot of guys who have been playing for the Americans, including Chris Gazaldo, who started each of the first 3 games. That's his middle infield teammate back at school. Hudson Boring, a reliever, also from Panola, alongside Bowles. So lots of good company here in Niagara Falls, and he's up 2-0 in the count on his first at-bat as an American. 1 down as Ramos struck out to lead the inning. Harris has now struck out 3 of the Americans' debut hitters, as that's grounded foul down the third base line, and was picked up for a moment by Ty Lagoni until he realized that that ball was not in play. 2 balls and 1 strike. As I was saying, Cohen Harris has struck out 3 of the 5 hitters to debut for the Americans, but Bowles will fly that into left field, caught by McGuire for out number 2. So Bowles also goes down with an out, but at least able to make contact off of Cohen Harris here compared to some of his fellow first-time batters here for the Americans. And it'll be back to the top of the order here with Grant Moore, who singled on his first at bat. He bunts, and he reaches first on the single. Throwing error will get him over to second, and he'll keep going for 3. Grant Moore slides into third after the single and error. He is quite the speedster for these Americans. Single and steal in the first inning, and now single and error to get him all the way to third in the second inning. Grant Moore is 2 for 2 on the day, continuing to improve upon his batting average, which was already .500 headed into this game. And now it's Jesmondi looking to drive in Grant Moore with 2 down. 1 ball on him. Gismondi walked on his first time up to the plate. So still without a proper at bat here for the Americans this season. Low for ball 2. So 2-0 up in the count. Derek Gismondi, it's possible he could walk for the second time today if he stays patient. Pitch from Harris, flown into left field, and that'll go foul. Runners will have to head back. Grant Moore had come home, but has to hurry back to third base with a 2-1 count on Gismondi now. Gismondi spent his freshman year at Mount St. Mary's. He redshirted, now looking to transfer. Same deal as Brady Toney, the Americans reliever. Outside, way outside for ball 3. As Harris looking to prevent the Americans from tying up this ball game. The tying run represented by Grant Moore at third base. Gismondi representing the go-ahead run. Pitch outside as Gismondi walks for the second time today. His patience has proven to be very helpful to these Americans. Keeps the inning alive and gives Dalton Harper the chance to make some noise with runners on the corner. Harper had his first hit of the season in the first inning, a single in the infield. 765 OPS a season ago in his first year with the Americans. That's behind him, and taking second, Derek Gismondi to make it 2 runners in scoring position. Cohen Harris really losing control here. He's had a lot of those pitches go over the righty batter's box, but that one is all the way behind Dalton Harper. That is the first time I've seen that in a PGCBL game. My goodness. That pitch way off target. Another one inside for ball 2. You cannot be throwing these pitches behind the batter here in summer collegiate baseball. 2 runners in scoring position. Harris looking to avoid disaster. Check swing, he went. So that's the first strike on Harper. Harper steps back into the batter's box. Both runners, Moore and Gismondi, have a lead at second and third. Pitch from Harris in the dirt for ball 3. So the 3-1 count on Dalton Harper would be his 3rd walk of the season if he's able to reach base here. Ball 4. No, excuse me, they'll call it strike 2. Harper was beginning to take off his gloves, but the umpire says no. So a full count, 2 outs on Dalton Harper with 2 runners in scoring position. Big moment for Harper and big moment for Cohen Harris on the mound. He'll set to deliver the payoff pitch. That one low and inside to load up the bases with the walk on Harper. And Harper has reached base in both the first and second inning today. And both times that he's reached base, it's juiced up the bags. Now Jake Hollins comes up with bases loaded. Big meeting on the mound. It appears we're going to have a pitching change. Cohen Harris's day is done after just 1 2/3 innings. Harris gave up 2 runs in that span. He can have some more runs charged to him if the new pitcher does not take care of business with 2 down and Hollins up to bat. We'll give it a moment to figure out who the new pitcher is here. And Mark Holm, the new pitcher for the Tarp Skunks. Second pitcher of the day. These pitchers are making a stink. 3 hits each for these two teams. Mark Holm coming in out of the bullpen for the Tarp Skunks. He's 0-1 with the team thus far, but a spotless ERA. Run he gave up came unearned. His last appearance was against Batavia on June 1st. He went 2/3 innings. We'll see how long he goes here. And as I said, the Tarp Skunks known for more of a bullpen-heavy approach. They only So Mark Holm making his second appearance as a Tarp Skunk here. Product of SUNY Niagara, so he's facing a lot of his former teammates. And he's here with another SUNY Niagara player in Jace Rutkowski here on the Tarp Skunks. But as I was mentioning earlier, the Tarp Skunks go with more of a bullpen approach. The longest any starter on this team has gone is 3 innings, and that's been Easton Barnett both times. Cohen Harris maxed out at 2 innings in his first start and now done after an inning and 2/3. Up the bat to face the new lefty Mark Holm is Jake Hollins. So the Tarp Skunks will opt to go with a lefty-on-lefty matchup here in this bottom of the second. Been lightly raining the entire game, making things a little slick here at Sal Magley Stadium. That goes way outside and away from the catcher, Borchert. All runners go. And it's runners on second and third still as the Americans tie this one up. Nathan Borchert letting that one get away from him on the pass ball. So Borchert misplays that one. 2 runners on, both in scoring position. It's just Mondi and Harper. Fly ball into center field by Hollins. And making the catch is Justin Bremner to retire the side. So one more run comes in to tie up the game. It's 3-3 despite 2 runners left on for the Americans. We'll be right back after these messages with the top of the 3rd inning.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
This 3rd inning is sponsored by Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union, Geico of Buffalo, Sammy's Pizza, and McDonald's. Try the all-new snack wrap coming July 10th. I'm a huge fan of those snack wraps. Gotta put prayers up for my wallet once those come out. But McDonald's here in Niagara Falls, 2 locations, proud sponsors of the Americans. You can find Americans Pocket schedules at both locations as well if you were unable to get yours here at the ballpark. And due up here for the Tarp Skunks, Nathan Borchert, Justin Bremner, and Jacob Haynes. So the meat of the order coming up here. And one strike on the catcher, Nathan Borchert. Pitch from Bazinet. Grounded foul by Borchert. So 2 strikes in on him already. As Bazinet keeps pitching despite 3 earned runs in the first inning, he's looking to settle in here. Swing and a miss, and gets away from Harper, but they'll complete the strikeout. Harper to Treadway. Nathan Borchert goes down swinging to kick off this 3rd inning. And Justin Bremner up for the 2nd time today now. 1 for 1 with the single. Keegan Bazinet continues to pitch with 1 down in the top of the 3rd. That's inside for ball 1. So Bazinet, 2 strikeouts on the day with that one. Chopper to Alan Ramos all the way to first base for out number 2. So Alan Ramos, similar story, honestly, to Shane Prey when he was at 3rd base for the first time on Friday. Made an early error, and now 2 5-3 groundouts recorded in the last 3 at-bats. So Alan Ramos has turned his defense around. And it just goes to show that one early error is not an indicator of how good someone's defense is. And that one grounded foul down the 3rd base line as Jacob Haynes steps into the batter's box for the 2nd time today. He singled in the 1st inning, that stretch of singles that Bazinet gave up. It's 3 hits for Jamestown on the day. That catches the outside corner of the strike zone, and it's 0-2 on Haynes. Bazinet 1 strike away from wrapping up this inning. 1-2-3. He's really beginning to settle in here against these Tarp Skunks. Outside for the ball. Bazinet has retired 5 consecutive batters after giving up 3 hits in the first 2 innings, the first 8 batters faced. Line drive down into left field for the base hit and more. So that out streak now ending here as the stand-up double by Jacob Haynes is complete. Haynes easily into 2nd. And Nolan Smith now up to bat. The sac fly on his first time up, but can't happen now. It's 2 down. Despite the runner in scoring position for the Tarp Skunks, who are now out-hitting the Americans 4-3. Americans also have 3 errors on the day. That's low for ball 1, low and away. And Keegan Bazinet hoping to keep this inning in control after 2 early outs. Way outside for ball 2. He's got to find his command of the strike zone back that was so sharp early in this top of the 3rd. Struck out Borchert. Forced the ground out by Bremner. And Nolan Smith, the Cortland product, chops one up the middle. And Brady Bowles sends it to first base for out number 3. And Bazinet gives up a hit but avoids any damage on the scoreboard as we head to the bottom of the 3rd after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the bottom of the 3rd. As Sammy's Pizza getting some love on the field right now. Sammy's Pizza, as I mentioned, one of our sponsors of this third inning. But this season, get yourself the latest Americans gear, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseballs, and much, much more. Stop by the merchandise stand, buy concessions for your Americans merchandise. And as I mentioned earlier, American season tickets, just $99 this season. So Keegan Bazinet has pitched 2 consecutive clean innings, and the Americans have put runs on the board in each of the first 2 to tie things up. Mark Holmes will keep pitching after recording the final out in the second inning. But Paul Delanto, or rather Delanto, coming up the DH for the Americans, popped out in the first inning. That goes outside for ball 1. So Delanto came into this game batting .375, 2 RBIs. Comes from Stony Brook, did not see playing time there his freshman year, but hoping to make a statement here in the PGCBL as he fouls off strike 1 to even up the count. Delanto, a Long Island native, led his high school to 3 Nassau County titles when he was in high school. That one gets away from Borchert for ball 2. Another one in the dirt. But nobody on, so no worry about extra bases here for the Americans just yet. As Delanto leads off the inning, Treadway and Raley will be due up after him. 3 balls and 1 strike on Paul Delanto as he looks to reach base once again for these Americans. .819 OPS on the season. Headed into this game. Takes ball 4 to bring that up even further. So the leadoff walk by Delanto puts a runner on for Dylan Treadway. Treadway struck out his first time up against Cohen Harris, but now will face a new pitcher in Mark Holm in the lefty-on-lefty matchup. Treadway, and now the try at first. They got him. And Paul Delanto is picked off at first base. Not what you want to see in this bottom of the third inning as the rain starts to pick up here at Sal Magley. That catches the outside corner for strike 1. So Holm picking off Delanto. He had a clear view of him as a left-handed pitcher, so you really don't want to mess with stealing when a lefty's in, especially one with those quick reflexes. But an outside ball 1 going to Dylan Treadway here. 1's across the board. Balls, strikes, outs. Another one fouled off. Fly ball into left field, foul. Treadway looking for his first hit as a Niagara Falls American, looking for his first contact in fair territory as a Niagara Falls American. Swing and a miss. Treadway goes down for the 2nd consecutive strikeout. It's been an unfortunate turn of events here. Yeah, an unfortunate turn of events here for the Americans in this inning. As ball 1 gets away from Borchert, but the base is empty after the pickoff at first. readying for the 0-1 inside. Or 1-0, excuse me, on Tristan Raley. So now 2 balls on him. This rain started as a drizzle, now picking up a little more. Strike 1, called on the outside edge of the zone on Raley. Raley was hit by the pitch his first time up. Low for ball 3. This bottom of the order, all brand new to these Americans today. I mean, they've been in practice, but their first time in gameplay. As Tristan Raley reaches base for the second consecutive time with a walk. So he's been hit once, he's walked once. It's the second walk of the inning. Unfortunately, Delanto was picked off at first. Tristan Raley will hopefully learn from Delanto's mistake as Logan Stickler comes up to bat. Yeah, and Raley staying very tight to the base, now getting a bit of a lead as Home looks straight ahead. The pitch from Home, driven into right field. Will start to head into foul territory, but it drops. They'll say foul. Everyone has to go back just to the right side of the foul line. And there were 3 defenders going after it. Nobody was able to get to it. If that went fair, it could have been big problems here for the Tarp Skunks, who are in a tight tie ball game, hoping to keep it that way, at least for the time being. It's low and away for the ball to even up the count with 2 down. Raley a bit of a lead. Home has a view of him. The pitch, pop up. And center fielder coming in. It ends up being a little bit of a longer fly ball than expected for out number 3. Logan Stickler flies out to center field. We'll be right back after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
And Coca-Cola, as the ad mentioned, get all your Coke beverages at concessions here at Sal Magley. And take me out to the ball game. Coming a little early here at Sal Magley Stadium. At the end of the 3rd inning, Yankee Doodle Dan down on the field with our elementary school visiting today. That school being Roy B. Kelly Elementary. So they have been very involved throughout the day, sang the national anthem a cappella. Now they're singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game a cappella. And Yankee Doodle Dan leading them off the field as we prepare for action in this tie ball game. Headed into the top of the 4th. And Keegan Bazinet continuing to pitch here in this 4th inning for the Americans. Gave up 3 runs in the 1st inning, has been rock solid since then.
Leading off for the Skunks, third baseman number 2, Ty Lagoni.
And Ty Lagoni coming up to bat now. We'll take just a moment here from the audio. My apologies. The rain messing with our camera angle a little bit here. But it's 1 down here in the ball game. This top of the 4th inning, Ty Lagoni retired. First batter of the inning on a strikeout looking. And it's now 1 ball and 1 strike on Eric Weeks. The 1-2 coming from Bazinet. Popped foul behind him. As the rain continues coming down here. Foul behind him to keep this at bat alive. Down 1-2 in the count. As Bazinet has been smooth sailing since a rough first inning. The pitch. And that is grounded to the third baseman Ramos all the way across the field for out number 2. Alan Ramos has now thrown 3 across the field for big ground outs. So, as I mentioned earlier, an early error, and he has really turned it around since. See if he can contribute more at the plate as well after striking out his first time up. But strike 1 on Brady Marshall here. And headed in. Continuing this top of the 4th inning. 2 down and nobody on. Now the count even as Bazinet hopes to wrap up this one 1-2-3. Be the first 1-2-3 inning today. And chopped foul, strike 2. And this rain really coming down now. As ball 2 goes inside here. That is grounded foul down the first base line. That is upstairs to even up the count, or excuse me, fill up the count. And this is starting to turn towards a downpour. And he got a piece of that one. Ground ball. Raley sends it over to Treadway for out number 3. And we'll be back after the break. Figure out the situation here with the rain. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. back for the bottom of the fourth inning. My apologies for the slightly obstructed camera view. Just a little too dangerous here for the camera out in the rain. So we've closed the windows here in the Doug Smith press box, but we'll still get you all in coverage of the game, and remind you to follow these Americans on our social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. So it's Alan Ramos up to bat, and it's strike one on the low edge of the strike zone here, as Ramos steps back in to take the 0-1. That one outside. My apologies, a 2-1 count. And Mark Holm readies another pitch outside to make it 3-1 here on Alan Ramos, excuse me. Mark Holm up to 17 pitches. The lefty keeps going in this bottom of the fourth in the tie ball game, and will walk Alan Ramos. So Alan Ramos struck out and walked.
Stepping in the shortstop, number 10, Brady Bowles.
And Brady Bowles coming up to round out this Americans lineup. Second time through the order. And one strike on him early. This rain has continued to pick up here. But baseball will go on this turf field. And that is fouled off to the right side, with one on and nobody out in this fourth inning. 2 strikes on Bowles, though. He flew out to left field. Caught by McGuire for the first time up for Brady Bowles. 0-2 pitch outside as Bowles stays alive here. His patience proving helpful. And swing and a miss. No, he got a piece of it to keep this at bat alive. Brady Bowles down 1-2 in the count, looking to recover here. The pitch from home is driven. He got a piece of it again. Bowles stepping back in once again. This at bat has gone very long. A lot of foul balls. Mark Holm delivers. Low and inside to even up the count at long last. So Bowles has either fouled him off or taken balls to slowly but surely make his way out of this 0-2 hole that he started the at bat with. Another one inside. Full count with the runner on first, Ramos. This would be the second consecutive walk for Mark Holm if it's ball 4 here. A lot of walks given up today. And another one right there. Ball 4 on Alan Ramos. Or excuse me, Brady Bowles. Ramos just walked. And Ramos heads to second. That is the 5th walk of the day, or actually 6th walk of the day. My apologies. 8 walks for these Tarp Skunks. Grant Moore up to bat. Takes another ball outside, so you cannot be giving up this many walks if you're the Tarp Skunks. Grant Moore takes another one way outside. So the count at 1-1. First one did go in for a strike. Apologies for the obstructed view in this rainstorm. Runners have a lead at first and second. Ramos and Bowles each walk to start off this inning. The 1-1 on the way from Mark Holm is outside for ball 2. Infield backed up for him. Runners getting more of a lead as strike 2 catches the outside corner. It's been 2 consecutive walks. Tarp Skunks looking for their first out of the inning. They've given up 8 walks, cannot afford any more. And Grant Moore is a tough customer. He's singled twice today. Swings and misses, but runners will go. Runners coming all the way home. As errors across the field here make it 5-3. Despite Moore striking out. So 1 down, but 2 runs score as the ball gets away after the strikeout. 2 runs on the error. And here comes Derek Gismondi with the bases empty and 1 down after 2 runs have scored to give the Americans a 5-3 lead. Gismondi has walked on both his plate appearances today. And his Americans debut takes strike 1. So despite 2 times up, has yet to record a proper at bat here. Swing and a miss. Makes it 1-2. My apologies, actually got a piece of it as fans chase after the baseball. Rain expected to continue to come down most of the rest of this game. Ground ball behind him, foul. Gismondi has 2 strikes on him, hoping to climb out of this hole. The pitch from Holm on the 1-2 count. Swing and a miss. Ball gets away again, but catcher Nathan Borchert chasing after Gismondi to tag him out and complete the strikeout. 2 down after 2 consecutive strikeouts. Here comes Dalton Harper, who has reached base twice today. He's 1 for 1, single and a walk. And that was his first hit of the year. Now a meeting at the mound. Looks like Holm could be done here. Yes, new pitcher coming out of the pen for the Tarp Skunks. After Mark Holm throws 1 full inning. Started in the 3rd, stretched into the 4th. And a new pitcher for the Tarp Skunks. It's number 24, Nick Iannello. He's 1-0 with a 2.25 ERA and 3 strikeouts so far this season. Went 2 innings against the Muck Dogs on June 1st. That was his last time out on the mound here. He has gone multiple innings in each of his appearances here for Jamestown. And Dalton Harper will have to face him in a righty-on-righty matchup. Though if Harper can get on base, Iannello will have to face the southpaw, Jake Hollins. As umbrellas are out across Sal Magley Stadium. Been some unexpected rain. It hit Jamestown harder than this, but hitting Niagara Falls today. This rain expected to continue into tomorrow, but after that, things will clear up for the rest of the week. Well, some spot showers mixing in, but the rain should hold off until at least Saturday. After today and tomorrow, the Americans will have a day off, so will not matter. But here comes Dalton Harper. They will play through the rain here. Apologies for the obstructed camera view, but need to keep it dry here in the rainstorm to keep these broadcasts running throughout the season. As Harper takes ball one outside with 2 down and nobody on. Both runners that were on were scored as strike 3 got away from catcher Nathan Borchert. That's popped up foul. Coming in to get it is Jacob Haynes. Will he make the catch? Yes, he will. Haynes wraps up the inning, retiring Harper on the pop-out foul. And we will be back for the top of the 5th after these messages.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for this 5th inning, brought to you by Tropical Heating and Cooling. Call 716-870-0753 for expert service. And rain still coming down here at Sal Magley. Wegmans Kids Run already canceled. But the baseball will continue on in this top of the 5th. Keegan Bazinet started off by allowing 3 runs to the Tarp Skunks, but now the Americans have put up 5 unanswered as Bazinet has settled in to make it a very solid start today. So on the season, this is his 6th inning pitch coming up here. He has 5.0 total thus far. That catches the outside corner for strike 1. On the batter. So a 1-1 count. As Frizzell steps back in. Frizzell DHing today. 2 balls and 1 strike on him. The 2-1 pitch from Bazinet. Grounded. Picked up by Brady Bowles at short. Complete for the out at first base. So that was a very hard grounder by Nico Frizzell. Bowles picks it up, records the out. And Aiden Nolasco up to bat now for the 2nd time today for these Tarp Skunks. Nolasco popped out on his first time up. He's 0 for 1 now. Nolasco has yet to have a hit for the Tarp Skunks this season. Has gotten on base though. Fly ball headed into shallow center. It'll drop. And on base is Aiden Nolasco. We'll see if this gets ruled hitter error. Because if it's a hit, it's his first as a Tarp Skunk this season. And Brady McGuire, the leadoff hitter, up with 1 on and 1 out against Keegan Bazinet. That'll be ruled a single by Aiden Nolasco as it drops in the outfield between multiple defenders. Possibly a defensive miscommunication, but no error there. Nolasco will get his first hit of the season and be checked at first. He is safe. And now up to bat is Brady McGuire. Takes it outside for the ball. That's the low outside corner. Bazinet looks back at first base where Aiden Nolasco now stands for the first time this season. At least on a hit. That one a little further inside. Catches the low outside corner of the strike zone. One's across the board. Balls, strikes, and outs. And a lead. The ball gets away as the pickoff attempt at first is unsuccessful, and Nolasco scurrying into second base. So now the runner on second. On this rainy day, the ball is slippery. But Bazinet, the errant throw, gets past the first baseman, Dylan Treadway. He's at first for the first time all season, filling in for the resting Graydon Miller. And almost whacked Brady McGuire on ball 2, Bazinet. It is 4 errors now for the Americans. 3 for the Tarp Skunks on the day. That is lined down the third base line. They'll call it foul. Pretty much right on the line all the way, and then heads to the foul side as it approaches left field. McGuire stepping back in just a moment here to face Bazinet with a hitter-friendly count. McGuire is 0 for 2 on the day, has lowered his .400 batting average that he headed into this game with. Swing and a miss. Down goes Brady McGuire on strike 3. And while he is 0 for 3 on the day, that is his first strikeout. So Bazinet sending him home swinging for the first time today. As Nathan Borchert comes up. He's 1 for 2, singled in the first inning, then struck out in the third. My apologies. He is 0 for 2. That first time up, he reached on an error. That was a later correction. Borchert fouled off. Fly ball on the left field foul side. And got some allergies today. I'm not sure if it's to the errors or to the rain, but it has escalated into torrential downpours here at Sal Magley. Pitch by Bazinet, driven into right field on the line drive, caught by Derek Jesmondi. Some of his first action in right field as a defender. And that'll send it to the bottom of the 5th. That's 3 outs. We'll be right back after these messages.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
And we are midway through this game here at Sal Magley Stadium. Americans lead 5-3 headed into the bottom of the first. And fans, do you or someone you know have a birthday coming up? Why not spend it with the Americans? Packages include 10 tickets, 2 large Sammy's pizzas, 10 drinks, customized Wegmans cake, autographed Americans baseballs, and special recognition at the game, starting at just $175. Sign up online at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com. Sponsored by Wegmans and Sammy's Pizza. And due up for the inning, due up in this inning for the Americans will be the lefty Jay Collins, Paul Delanto, and Dylan Treadway. 2 lefties will be faced by Iannello, who will continue to pitch. Harris went 1 2/3, followed by Holm going 1, and now Iannello started his outing off in the bottom of the 4th, looking to continue for another inning or 2 most likely, as Jay Collins steps into the batter's box for the Americans. Came into this game with a .385 batting average, 1077 OPS. He's walked and flown out so far today. Swing and a miss for strike 1 on... He bit on the curving outside pitch to make it 0-1. Pitch from Iannello on the 0-1 count is low and inside for the ball. So 1-1 count. Iannello waiting now, readies and delivers. Driven into right field by Hollins, and a diving play for the catch by Eric Weeks. So Jake Hollins thought he might have had a single there, but on the line drive, a diving catch for out number 1. And Paul Delanto will be up to bat with 1 down after the Hollins line out. Or Delanto, rather, has popped out and walked. He's 0 for 1. Delanto takes strike 1 over the edge of the righty batter's box. So the inside edge of the strike zone, that one catches. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. And Delanto is already down 0-2 in the count here. Has not recorded a hit since the very first inning against the Ironbacks yesterday. He's looking to snap that skid after a very hot start to the season. Delanto drives that into left field for the base hit. And Delanto, his 3rd consecutive game with a hit, is on base for the 2nd time today after walking in the 3rd inning. That's the 4th hit for the Americans. They've also walked 8 times. So all those walks explaining the 2-run lead despite the deficit in hits for the Americans. And Dylan Treadway up to bat has struck out twice in his first 2 at-bats as an American. He is local to the Niagara Falls area. His family should be at a lot of these games. His dad, a season ticket holder, as he swings and misses on strike 1. Lights are on here at Sal Magley as the rain clouds the light here. And Treadway has bit on both of these first 2 pitches. 2 whiffs, 2 strikes. Treadway steps back into the batter's box, hoping to climb out of this 0-2 hole and avoid the 3rd consecutive strikeout. Fouls one off behind him to keep the at-bat alive for the time being. But no balls on the count just yet. Delanto careful to take too much of a lead after he was picked off following his walk in the 3rd inning. But a little bit easier against the righty Iannello than it was against the lefty Holm, as it is his blind spot after all. Iannello checked back briefly, now stepped back onto the mound. He checks back again. And he delivers on the 0-2. That goes low for the ball. So the rain continues here at Sal Magley. Swing and a miss as strike 3 gets away. Treadway will not try and run here, trying to conserve Delanto's status at first base, and it's 2 down as Treadway swings and misses for the 3rd consecutive time, one shy of the Golden Sombrero. And now Tristan Raley up to bat. Raley walked in his first 2 at-bats, drove in a run with the first of those walks. So strike 1 on the outside edge. One of 2 Americans today who walked on his first 2 at-bats, the other being another first-time starter in Derek Jesmondi. He followed that up with an out, but that one getting away. No, it hit him. It hit Tristan Raley, so he's on base for the 3rd time today. Walked twice, got hit. Delanto to second. So 2 ducks on the pond now for the first time in a while as Logan Stickler comes up to bat for Niagara Falls. Stickler 0 for 2, struck out and flew out to center field. So made contact his 2nd time up to the plate for his Americans career, making some progress, and Delanto taunting at second base. Chopper thrown across the field. Oh, it's bobbled by the first baseman, Haynes. Runners will go. A run will score. 2 runs will score. And the Americans are now up 7-3. More errors made. It's the 4th error by the Tarp Skunks. And Stickler advancing to second on that one. We'll see what the official call goes in as, waiting for our scorer, Riley Drew Cross. It will be called a throwing error that Stickler will reach on. The throwing error by 3rd baseman Ty Lagoni drives in 2 runs. And taken inside for ball 1. So this inning, it was 2 outs and just 1 on. Then a hit by pitch on Raley and a costly error that drove in both runners and sent Stickler to second. With Ramos now up to bat, he's struck out and walked on the day. 1 ball, 1 strike, so either outcome a high possibility here for Ramos. Has yet to make contact in fair territory as an American, but has played a great 3rd base today despite an early error. There's been a lot of them today in this rainstorm. 4 errors apiece. As Stickler taunts at second, they'll try to pick him off, but he slides back in safely. That escalated quickly. Iannello not messing around, and Stickler is aware of that now, but he gets another lead nonetheless. We'll see if Iannello throws back again. He only can throw so many pickoff attempts here. Checks the runner. Checks him twice, then delivers on the 1-1. Low for ball 2, and Stickler having some fun out there on the base paths. But he's still at second base as the rain keeps on coming here. Starting to lighten up a bit here at Sal Magley as we approach the 2-hour marker of this game. Stickler goes, dribbler down to the second baseman, and that'll wrap up the inning. Nolasco throws it to Jacob Haynes to complete the ground out. That'll be it for the 5th inning. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
back for the 6th inning. And Keegan Bazinet still pitching here, but this 6th inning is brought to you by Chris Robins, local Niagara County legislator. Local Laborers 91 and Wegmans providing cakes for the birthday package here, sponsoring our kids run, which was canceled at this end of the 5th because of the rain, but most games Wegmans keeping our kids run going. We're very thankful for that here at the Americans. And Keegan Bazinet, headed into his 6th inning of work, has given up 3 runs, only 1 earned. So his ERA still looking very sharp as he faces Bremner, Haynes, and Smith in this inning. It's going to be a tough one against the meat of the Tarp Skunks lineup. It'll be low for the ball. And that is going to be in for the ground out number 1. Apologies, we had some confusion in the press box for a moment here, but the 6-3 ground out will retire Justin Bremner. And now Haynes up to bat with 1 down and nobody on. Rain finally starting to slow down a bit, but still coming. And a close shave by Bazinet for ball 1 here at the barbershop. Fly ball into deep right center field. Could that drop in the gap? No. It is caught by Gismondi for out number 2. So ends up headed more towards the right field side of things, and Gismondi with the routine flyout. Now next up is Nolan Smith, the product of Cortland. Sac fly on his first time up, and then a 6-3 ground out. So he is 0 for 1 on the day. And he's the extra hitter here today. Played first in the first handful of games here for the Tarp Skunks. And takes a ball outside. It's a 1-0 count here on Nolan Smith. Pitch from Bazinet. Low for another ball. Now, the Americans have walked 8 times today. On the flip side of things, Bazinet has walked nobody. Very impressive to see. But this could be the first walk here for Bazinet, as it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Nolan Smith. And that will be Bazinet's first walk of the day. Keegan Bazinet went 5 2/3 without one. But Cy Lagoni coming up to bat now. The third baseman is batting .308, or at least was headed into this game. He reached on an error and struck out looking today, as there's a meeting on the mound. Seems Bazinet is done for the day. We've got a call to the bullpen for the Americans. Bazinet gave the Americans 5 2/3 with just 1 earned run. A very impressive day by him, but a new pitcher after a great day from Bazinet. And the reliever for the Americans is Carter Hall. Coming in for the 2nd time this season. He made his debut as an American against the Muck Dogs in Batavia. Pitched 1 inning, gave up a run and struck out 1, but came away with the win in that game, as the Americans gave him some big run support following his outing. And Carter Hall coming in for Keegan Bazinet after an amazing 5 2/3 innings of 1-run ball. Or, excuse me, 3-run ball, but only 1 of those earned. Bazinet gave up 3 runs in the top of the first inning, and since then had been rock solid, but after giving up the walk, he will be relieved by Carter Hall. And it'll be a righty-on-righty matchup nonetheless here against Ty Lagoni. Hall warming up with catcher Dalton Harper, who will remain in the game to catch Carter Hall. So Carter Hall a 9 ERA as an American in just 1 inning pitched. Hoping to get that down. 1 strikeout here, also 4 in the spring over at Niagara University in 4 2/3 innings pitched. And his first customer will be Ty Lagoni. Drives that into left field. That'll go drop foul. No, they'll call it fair. Jess heads into fair territory. Lagoni heading into third as they try the throw home. So Lagoni gets 3 bases and drives in the run to make this 7-4. We'll wait for the official call on what that is. Appears to be some form of extra base hit. So he doubles and advances on the throw to third base. Ty Lagoni safely into third. And scoring on that one is Nolan Smith, who had just walked. First extra base hit all day by either side goes to Ty Lagoni.
Now batting right fielder number 6, Eric Weeks.
And Eric Weeks comes up to bat with 2 down and the runner on third. Takes 2 balls outside. Or ball 2, rather. And it'll be Carter Hall looking to finish off this inning for the Americans. Get out of the inning despite the runner in scoring position, but it's 3 balls now to Eric Weeks. You do not want to walk him here. It'd be runners on the corners for Brady Marshall, who is 1 for 2 on the day. The pitch, low for ball 4, and Carter Hall gives up the second Americans walk of the day. We've got some trouble here in the 6th inning. The Tarp Skunks looking to narrow their 3-run deficit with runners on the corners, and representing the tying run is Brady Marshall coming up to the plate right now. As Eric Weeks reaches base for the first time today after 2 groundouts. That one over his head for ball 1. So it's 5 consecutive balls for Carter Hall, and Harper is going to meet with him on the mound. See what's not working here. And the rain outside has continued to impact play. It is lightning, but still steady. And Carter Hall will remain in the game. Can't go out after facing 2 batters nonetheless, but he's given up a double and a walk so far. Lagoni got to third on the throw, so it's runners on the corners. Lagoni at third, Weeks at first with the walk, and Brady Marshall, the tying run, representing that for the Tarp Skunks, takes the 6th consecutive ball inside. Marshall singled in the 2nd inning, then grounded out. See what he does here. Looking more and more like it'll be a walk. 7 consecutive balls. Reminiscent of Joe Chaya's Friday night here at Sal Magley. But as you saw, Chaya was able to recover from that yesterday, so I'm sure Carter Hall can find his way out of this jam. Finds the inside corner for strike 1. So he may not even walk Brady Marshall right here, hoping to stay alive in this at-bat. But the count well in Marshall's favor, still at 3-1. Pitch. Catches the outside edge of the strike zone. It's a full count all of a sudden here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch on the way in just a moment from Carter Hall. Hall sets and delivers on the payoff pitch. Ball 4, bases loaded. So the Tarp Skunks really have a chance to get back in this game here. If Nico Frizzell can capitalize on the bases loaded with 2 outs. Frizzell represents the go-ahead run. Marshall, the tying run, now on first. And Carter Hall, 3 batters faced. Appears it'll be it. Carter Hall unable to record an out. It'll be a new pitcher here for the Americans. We'll get you the info on him in a second here. It is Brady Toney coming in to pitch for Niagara Falls. He closed the game on Wednesday night. An electric save where he struck out 1. He has an ERA of exactly 0 right now. And that was his last appearance on Wednesday against Batavia. So he is nice and fresh here to face these Tarp Skunks. We'll see what he can do. Has been one of the most reliable relievers out of the Americans' pen thus far. Hoping to continue that. So the bases are juiced as Niagara Falls hangs on by a thread to their 7-4 lead. And a second earned run was charged to Keegan Bazinet after he walked Nolan Smith before coming out of the game. And Toney Brady Toney getting ready to pitch here against Nico Frizzell, who's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and ground out. Frizzell has not recorded a hit for the Tarp Skunks all season. He's a product of Mercyhurst, where he also failed to record a hit. So this would be a big a big moment for him to get his first hit, but even a walk, a hit batter, would knock in a run for Jamestown. They ideally want to hit here with 2 down, but because that could score multiple runs. That'll catch the bottom of the strike zone for strike 1. Brady Toney looking for his second strikeout of his season here. Redshirted his freshman year at Mount St. Mary's, just like the right fielder Derek Gismondi. And that catches the outside edge of the strike zone. 0-2 count, 2 down, so 1 strike away for Brady Toney. And that'll be ball 1 low in the dirt. Brady Toney continuing to pitch to these Tarp Skunks with 2 down and 2 on. Or bases juiced, rather. Ground ball. Ramos takes the out right at third base, unassisted, to end the inning. And it'll stay 7-4. The Tarp Skunks strand. The bases loaded. We'll be right back. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the bottom of the sixth. It'll be Allen Ramos, Brady Bowles, and Grant Moore to face the Tarp Skunks here. Get your word on who the pitcher is in just a moment. So we've got a call to the bullpen for the Tarp Skunks. And that would be Will Taylor, the lefty out of Trinity, Texas. Division III school. Made 15 appearances there, all in relief. Went 7-0 with a 2 ERA and 36 strikeouts. But this is his debut as a Tarp Skunk. Exciting to see. He is a clutch reliever over there at Trinity. We'll see what he can do here against Brady Bowles. So my apologies. It'll be Bowles, Moore, and Gismondi due up, as Ramos was retired at the end of the 5th inning. Brady Bowles 0 for 1 on the day, flew out and walked. 1 ball and 1 strike on him. Pitches outside for ball 2. So Bowles with the 2-1 count in his favor. Line drive into right field will drop for the base hit. And potentially more as that hops again away from the right fielder, Eric Weeks. Bowles headed into third base, sliding safely. What a turn of events. The Americans have got a runner in scoring position. So Brady Bowles will be awarded the hit, but seems to have advanced at least 1, if not 2 bases on an error here. We'll wait for the official word from our scorer, Riley Drew Cross. But in the meantime, it's back to the top of the lineup. It's a single, an error for Brady Bowles as Grant Moore takes ball 1 outside. Bowles on third. Moore flies that into left field. It'll head into foul territory. Diving for it is Brady McGuire. He will not be able to come up with it, so that goes down as strike 1 in foul territory. Brady Bowles still at third after the single and error. And the 1-1 coming in just a moment here from the new pitcher, Taylor, outside for ball 2. So Taylor giving up the hit on his first batter faced in the form of Brady Bowles. And now Grant Moore looking for his third hit of the day. Wild pitch sends home Brady Bowles. It's 8-4 Niagara Falls. Brady Bowles started on third base, and errors and wild pitches send him all the way home. The Panola product, a middle infield partner of Chris Gazaldo, who's resting today, but Bowles showing just as much talent as Gazaldo has in his opportunities at shortstop and third for the Americans. Takes that inside to fill up the count. No, excuse me, that'll be ball 4. So Grant Moore walking in a 6-pitch at bat. And Derek Gismondi coming up as Grant Moore gets on base for the 3rd time today and remains 2 for 3. Gismondi 0 for 1, walked twice and then struck out. Takes ball 1 far outside over the righty batter's box. Will Taylor continuing to pitch as the rain continues. Catches the outside edge of the strike zone. It's 1-1 on Gismondi. His first game as an American, he fouls it off. Him and Brady Tony spent freshman year together at Mount St. Mary's, both redshirted, both transferring. Jake Rocher also at Mount St. Mary's, but he will stay for his sophomore year over there. And Robbie McLaughlin, an incoming freshman on this team, will join him at the Mount. Now stealing second is Grant Moore on ball 2 to Derek Gismondi. Grant Moore with his second steal of the day. So now runner on second that Taylor will have to check on. Ball 3 to Gismondi fills up the count. And Moore has a lead. Looking for third base. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. No, they'll say he got a piece of it. As the bat stays alive for Derek Gismondi. And checking on Moore at second is Will Taylor before second straight payoff pitch. And that time he went. Gismondi, strike 3. As Moore remains on first for the incoming Dalton Harper. That'll go down as a strikeout swinging for Derek Gismondi, his second strikeout swinging of the day. It's 1 down. And a man on second for the Americans. Grant Moore, the runner. And the 0-1 pitched to Dalton. Or rather, first strike on Dalton Harper. 1 down, man on second. And the inside ball in the dirt. Makes it 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. One's across the board. As Grant Moore getting a bigger and bigger lead. He takes off. They'll try him at third. The ball gets away. Is Moore going to go home? Yes, he will. Not even an attempt to get that throw home. The ball went so far away that the Americans will, with ease, take a 9-4 lead. It's a 2-1 count now on Dalton Harper as Grant Moore scoring on a stolen base and then an error. So a 1-1 count. Harper fouls that off to make it 1-2. Dalton Harper on the day has singled, walked, and popped out. So he's 1 for 2. That single was his first hit of the 2025 season. He had plenty in 2024 for these Americans. Ball 2 in the dirt outside. So now the count evened up. Once again with 1 down. Now nobody on as Grant Moore came all the way home on the stolen base and error. And shallow fly ball into center field, drops. They'll call that a base hit. Dalton Harper with his second hit of the day. He came into the day with 0 on the season. Now he has 2. And here is Jake Hollins. Outside ball 1. Jake Hollins on the day. Walked, flew out, and lined out. So looking for his first hit. He shows bunt. Out at first. No, it'll be safe as the tag was not, his foot was not on the base. So it's runners on first and second. And Haynes making the catch, but he had his foot off the bag. Unbelievable. That is the 7th error for the Tarp Skunks. This is a team that came into this game 3-1. And now meeting on the mound. Will Taylor's day will be done. He records 1 out here for the Tarp Skunks, but that'll be it. Right-hander coming in, and that right-hander is Jashawn Brown. The righty out of Rockingham Community College has a 3.86 ERA, 1 strikeout here for the Tarp Skunks. Actually started 9 games over at Rockingham, but a 5.07 ERA, so he's been converted to a reliever here in Jamestown.
Hey folks, don't forget to follow the Americans on all of our social media platforms. You can
And
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Search for Niagara Falls Americans.
Jay Collins
Keep up with all things Americans. That's social media on Facebook, Instagram,
reaches
some amazing content.
on what was called a throwing error
Turns in all of baseball.
after the bunt.
Fans, we're glad that you came out to the
Throwing error on Will Taylor, the outgoing pitcher. So now it's runners on first and second, 2 ducks on the pond for Paul Delanto. Delanto, 1 for 2 on the day, single, popped out and walked. Delanto has recorded a hit in 3 consecutive games. And in this bottom of the 6th, it's 1 down, 2 on. A good situation for him. So Delanto came into this game with a 375 batting average. Has gone up slightly with his 1 for 2 day. And Delanto coming in to face the new pitcher, Jashawn Brown, in a righty-on-righty matchup. Brown's most recent appearance for the Tarp Skunks was on June 3rd in an exhibition game against the Alena Oilers. So it's runners on first and second. Delanto up to bat here for the Americans with 1 down. Those runners came on a single by Harper, and then Hollins reaching on an error off the bunt. Inside for ball 1 on Delanto. And Delanto with the 1-0 count, waiting for the pitch from Jashawn Brown. He will briefly check the runner at second, Dalton Harper. And that will catch the outside end of the strike zone to make it 1-1. Harper, maybe a catcher, but he certainly has some speed. Lost some weight in the offseason. And for these Americans, he's already stolen some bases. So a threat to steal again. And he fouled off. Excuse me, that's Delanto who fouled off the 3rd pitch for strike 2. Dalton Harper on second. Jake Hollins on first. And Paul Delanto getting ready for the 1-2 pitch with both runners getting a lead here. And checking on Harper multiple times is the new pitcher. That is outside for ball 2. As Brown, a little distracted here by Dalton Harper. Brown is the 5th pitcher today for the Tarp Skunks. As I said, these Jamestown Tarp Skunks are known for their bullpen games. Will Taylor did not last long here. And it's a full count now as another ball comes in from Brown. And the numbers here for these Tarp Skunks pitchers. 1 2/3 by Cohen Harris, 2 innings by Mark Holm, 1 1/3 by Iannello, and 1/3 of an inning by Taylor. Now Brown looking to record some outs. That one lined down the first base line for the base hit and more. Headed into second. Delanto will get the extra base hit and drive in Dalton Harper. It's runners on second and third. That was a nicely hit liner into right field. And it's 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 down for Dylan Treadway. And if there's any time for Dylan Treadway to make his mark known, it's right now. He's struck out 3 times, looking to avoid the golden sombrero and looking to drive in his first runs as an American. Chopper goes foul. So 1 strike on Treadway already here. But he will persevere. In this bottom of the 6th inning. Americans have scored 3 runs to make it 10-4. 2 have scored on various defensive mistakes, a wild pitch, an error, and now the RBI double by Paul Delanto. My apologies for the camera difficulties, but Treadway will take ball 2 outside. So 2-1 count on Dylan Treadway while we take care of the camera here. Chopper up the middle, fielded by the new pitcher in Brown, and to first base for out number 2. But the run will score on that RBI ground out from the pitcher to first base for Dylan Treadway. It is 11-4 Americans. The mercy rule in the PGCBL is 10 runs after 7 innings. The Americans would be 3 away from forcing that if they can have a clean top of the 7th. And here is Tristan Raley after the first contact of his Americans career in fair territory for Dylan Treadway and his first RBI.
Now batting first baseman number 19, Dylan Treadway.
And it is Tristan Raley up to bat after Treadway had the RBI ground out. And still on second base, now advancing to third is the runner, Paul Delanto.
That's number 28, Tristan Raley.
So Hollins scored on the ground out, and now Delanto is on third. My apologies for all those camera movements. We have had some technical difficulties due to the rain, but we keep things going here. At Sal Magley, lined foul down the first base line. That was hard hit, but just unfortunate timing. As Tristan Raley has 2 balls and 1 strike on him, looking to drive in the runner now on third, Paul Delanto. Delanto doubled to drive in 1 run. Treadway grounded out to drive in another. And that is inside for ball 3. Upstairs as well. So Raley, if he walks here, that would be his 4th time reaching base today. He's been hit twice and walked once. That's ball 4 outside. It's gone hit by pitch, walk for Tristan Raley's day today. And it's runners on the corners here for Logan Stickler, the extra hitter. Stickler on the day is 0 for 3. And now it's 2 down, 2 on as Rayleigh walks. Big moment here for Logan Stickler. Hoping to drive in some of his first runs as an American. Ground ball and thrown from Marshall to Haynes at first base for out number 3. That'll do it for the inning. Americans almost bat around, but fall just short of that. Nonetheless, they score 4 runs in a long 6th inning. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
This 7th inning is sponsored by Elks Lodge of Niagara Falls, Bikers Against Child Abuse, the Stalka Agency, and Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews. So in this 7th inning, the first customer for Brady Tony is Aiden Nolasco. The second baseman takes ball 1. In his 3rd time up, he's 1 for 2 on the day. Now a 2-0 count on Nolasco. Tony throws another one upstairs. It's been 3 consecutive balls on Aiden Nolasco, the batter. He's already got his first hit of his Tarp Skunks season. Can he reach base for a 2nd time today? That'll catch the outside corner of the strike zone for strike 1. Tony looking to record his 2nd out of the day. Similar spot. Once again, fools the batter. And it's a full count. Right. That is fouled off behind Nolasco. Nolasco back into the batter's box for the payoff pitch. That is a little too far outside and goes for ball 4. Tony giving up a walk for the first time this season. It's back to the top of the order now. Things are going to get a little trickier here for Brady Tony. It's Brady McGuire. As Nolasco reaches base for the 2nd time today, McGuire is looking to reach for the 1st time. He's 0 for 3. The pitch from Tony. Inside ball 1 at the hands of McGuire. McGuire, one of 8 righties in this lineup for the Tarp Skunks. It's very righty heavy. Plays to the favor of the right-handed Tony. The 1-0 pitch inside, and they will try for the pickoff at first base, but sliding in safe is Aiden Nolasco. 2 balls. And the umpire will correct it, say it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Umpire correcting himself here. And that one in the dirt. 2-1. Brady McGuire came into this game batting .400. He's struggled to find that same contact today. This would be a big moment here for the Tarp Skunks as they need to start scoring runs if they want to get out of this 7-run deficit. A win for the Americans would send them to an undefeated 4-0. Fly ball in foul territory, ends up more of a pop-up. And it is caught by Dylan Treadway for out number 1. So that'll keep Nolasco at first base. Those pop-ups are very helpful for the pitcher. Brady Tony. And Nathan Borchert coming up. 0 for 3 after reaching on an error, striking out and lining out to Derek Gismondi in right field. Borchert, the catcher for the Tarp Skunks today, takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Brady Tony throwing some heat. See if that continues here. And another fastball, but that hits a little bit outside for the ball. So the 1-1 count. Brady Tony with the even count. That's grounded foul by Borchert. Nathan Borchert has caught the majority of games here for the Tarp Skunks so far this season. Not too many catchers on this roster. Eddie Delansky seen some time at the position. And he also pitches, so they're going to be relying heavily on Borchert all season long to lead this catcher department way outside for the ball, but holding up at first base is Nolasco. He will not try to steal. Thought about it, but will not go in the end. 2-2 pitch, 1 down. Nolasco on first. Tony throws straight ahead of him. Ground ball. Bulls gets the out at second and throws to first for out number 2. The double play, 6-3. And the Americans will lead 11-4 headed into the bottom of the 7th inning. No runs score as we head to the break. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the bottom of the 7th inning, we have a call to the bullpen. Brady Burdine will relieve Jashawn Brown here for the Tarp Skunks. 6th pitcher of the day for them in the top of the 8th inning, or rather bottom of the 7th inning. So Harris has gone 1 2/3, home 2 innings. Iannello 1 1/3 to end the 5th. And then Taylor went 1/3 of an inning before Jashawn Brown. Jashawn Brown got the final 2 outs of the 7th. As Sweet Caroline comes over the loudspeakers here at Sal Magley Stadium, a baseball classic. Gotta love it as a Red Sox fan over here. But in this 7th inning, we want to remind you that the Niagara Falls Americans would love to partner with your business. The Americans have lots of options to make your presence known in the community. Please visit their website at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com to get involved. And as always, go Americans! But Alan Ramos coming up to bat in the bottom of the 7th, the only batter who did not see action in the 6th inning, where the Americans nearly batted around, which is very hard to do with the 10-batter lineup. And first pitch to Ramos from Burdine is fouled off behind home plate. So 1 strike on Ramos, who leads off the inning. He struck out and then walked. He's now 0 for 2 on the day. The walk is only time reaching base. Swings and misses. Well, actually got a little bit of a piece of it, but nonetheless, it's strike 2 either way. Ramos making his Americans debut. Was actually set to debut opening night, but was still finishing up high school. Reported this weekend to Sal Magley. Takes ball 1 outside. So, yeah, this was an anticipated debut here in Niagara Falls. This is a Wagner commit. Comes right from New York City. And drives that into right field. That is caught for out number 1 by Eric Weeks. So the line drive into right field will retire Ramos. As Brady Bowles comes up to bat, led off all the madness in the bottom of the 6th with a single. Made it all the way to 3rd on a series of errors. Tarp Skunks are up to 7 errors now, but Brady Bowles is 1 for 2 on the day. Bowles takes an inside pitch for ball 1. Lots of close shaves here at the barber shop. It's what Sal Magley was known for. That's the nickname of the stadium here. Another inside pitch, but that finds the strike zone to even up the count. Brady Bowles comes from Panola alongside 4 other Americans. One of 3 of the middle infielders from Panola to come here alongside Chris Gazaldo and the rising freshman Tristan Raley, who shares the middle infield with Bowles today. There's been some great chemistry there. They've turned some double plays, as they just did to wrap up the inning. I mean, Bowles just went to Treadway himself on that one, but nonetheless, they've worked well together. Foul ball with the 1-2 count by Brady Bowles. As Brady Burdine returns to the hill, it's Brady on Brady. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out in this bottom of the 7th inning, as the Americans look to expand on their 7-run lead. They score 3 this inning. The game is over. Ball 2 almost hits Bowles on the head. So it's a 2-2 count. As I mentioned, the Americans 3 runs away from ending this game. If they can get it to 10 at any point from here on out, it's over. Foul ball behind Bowles to keep the at-bat alive. And picking up the ball is Grant Moore, who's on deck for the Americans. The leadoff hitter has reached base 3 times already today. Bowles, chopper, shallow territory. And will he be safe? Yes, he makes it in time to first base, as Ty Lagoni has to cover some inside ground before throwing to Jacob Haynes, and Bowles will reach on the infield single. That's his second hit of the day, second hit of the season, as today is his debut for the Americans. And now Grant Moore will come up to bat. My apologies, that will be ruled as an error. But nonetheless, Brady Bowles is on first base. It is the 8th error for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. And already, Brady Burdine is done. After just a couple of batters faced. And the new pitcher is going to be Colin Bola. He is the 7th pitcher for these Tarp Skunks today. This is getting out of hand for Jamestown. This team has a very, very deep bullpen, and they are using it. They are just removing pitchers at will here. It has really slowed down the pace of the game here at Sal Magley. The Americans will have the chance to punish them if they can wrap up this game with 3 runs in the 7th. They have started to really pour in the runs after a 3-3 tie through 3 innings. Scored 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th. Can they keep the big runs coming? Keep the crooked numbers going in this bottom of the 7th inning against the 7th pitcher, Colin Bola. We'll give you some info on Bola. He's had 4 strikeouts and a 4.5 ERA so far this season. Has made 2 multi-inning appearances for the Tarp Skunks. Went 2 innings against the Muck Dogs on June 1st. Over at T3 Penn State Berend, a 7-3 record, 4.91 ERA, and 68 strikeouts. He was more of a starter there, but he did regress from his freshman season, in which he had a 3.10 ERA and a 4-2 record. So Colin Bola, after a down sophomore year over at Penn State Berend, has been coming out of the pen for the Tarp Skunks, but honestly, not really much of a difference here whether you come out of the pen or start. Everybody throwing chunks of innings. Longest the starters have gone is 3 innings, and today's starter, Cohen Harris, only went 1 2/3. But Grant Moore comes up to face the pitcher, Colin Bola. Bola, a southpaw, throws ball 1 outside to Grant Moore. And this Jamestown Tarp Skunks team, almost reminiscent of the 2024 Detroit Tigers over in Major League Baseball. They pitched a number of bullpen games, and it was a strategy that seemed to work for them because they just got high-quality innings out of so many pitchers, one of the deepest pens in the league. And just like the Tigers, the Tarp Skunks have probably the deepest pen in the PGCBL as Colin Bola throws ball 2 outside to Grant Moore. And despite all these pitchers here for the Tarp Skunks, the Americans have torn them up. 3 balls, no strikes. Tarp Skunks have burned through 6 pitchers already, and now Colin Bola, unless he recovers here, likely to walk the batter Grant Moore for the 2nd time today. Ball 4. Grant Moore walks in just 4 pitches. It's his 2nd of the day. He's had 2 hits and 2 walks. And now it's 2 runners on for the Americans after Bowles reached on the error. Derek Jesmondi represents the tying run, represents the game-ending run. This is far from tied at this point. Jesmondi takes ball 1 outside. A home run here by Derek Jesmondi would end the game on the spot. Anything else, the game still goes, but 2 runners on for the Americans, so lots of potential good things that Derek Jesmondi could do here. Both runners going. It's a double steal on ball 2. 2 runners in scoring position now. Moore safe at 3rd. Bowles safe, Moore safe at 2nd and Bowles safe at 3rd on the double steal. pandemonium here at Sal Magley. Jesmondi taking ball 3 outside. If he walks, the bases are loaded, and it would be his 3rd walk of the day. Dalton Harper with bases loaded. I don't think the Tarp Skunks even want to think about that. The pitch from Bola. Outside, ball 4. And Colin Bola's struggles continue here. This is the 7th pitcher for the Tarp Skunks, and none of them have really been able to hold down these flaming hot Americans as Dalton Harper comes up with the bases loaded. Harper today, 2 hits and a walk. He's 2 for 3. His first 2 hits of the entire season here for the Americans. But now with bases loaded, the chance to make it a 3-hit day and really get this game out of control. And Dalton Harper did not hit a home run last season for the Americans, but if he hits a grand slam here, this game is over. Runner checked. And a strike 1 on the low edge of the strike zone to Dalton Harper. 8 errors for the Tarp Skunks today. They've given up 11 runs, 7 hits, but more errors than hits. That shows the defense is partially responsible for this. And this deep bullpen can only do so much with the defense failing them. It's 1-2 as Harper pops one foul behind him. Dalton Harper, 17 RBIs last year, looking for his first of the season. Outside to even up the count. The game-ending run is on first base in Derek Jesmondi. So a bases-clearing hit would end the game. A grand slam would end the game. The 2-2 on the way from Colin Bola in just a moment here. Harper drives that up the middle, and that is going to drop in front of the center fielder for the base hit. 1 run will score. Dalton Harper has a 3-hit day as Justin Bremner falls just short of that one in center field. Americans still have the bases loaded for a big hitter in Jake Hollins. He's yet to have a hit today, but he had 3 extra base hits over the course of the last 2 games. An extra base hit here could end this game. It's 12-4 Americans right now. The go-ahead run in Jesmondi is now on second base. Game-ending run. Bola the pitch. Outside for ball 1. The mercy rule here in the PGCBL, to remind all the viewers, is 10 after 7. And a 1-0 count here on Jake Hollins. Ball 2. So 2 balls on Jake Hollins. A walk would drive in the 13th run. 14 ends this ball game. Runners have a lead at second and third. Those are Jesmondi, as well as Grant Moore. 2 balls and 1 strike now. Hollins up with the bases loaded and 1 down. Looking to improve upon his 0 for 3 day. Lines that right to the first baseman. So the out at first by Jacob Haynes, but another run scores on the RBI ground out for Jake Hollins. Hollins doesn't have a hit today, but he's found plenty of other ways to contribute. 13-4 Americans. It's runners on second and third, and another meeting on the mound. Another pitcher coming in. It's the 8th pitcher of the day for the Tarp Skunks. 8 pitchers in 7 innings, and Eddie Delansky, the two-way player, will come in to pitch. Delansky went 3 innings against the Muck Dogs on June 1st. We'll see what he can do here after Colin Bola records just 1 out before Delansky coming in. This is getting ridiculous here. The Tarp Skunks giving up so many walks. And that first warm-up pitch, Delansky hitting his catcher. And now runners on second and third. The runner on third, Gismondi, represents the game ender. So Jay Collins, the RBI ground out right to first base. And Paul Delanto is the next hitter. He's had a single and a double already. Any knock here will likely drive in the game-winning run. I don't think the Tarp Skunks came in here expecting to get mercy. They were 3-1 headed into this game, but their pitching staff getting picked apart by the ever so deep Niagara Falls Americans lineup. They are so patient, but it's really the top of the lineup that is powering them today. As to be expected, a lot of the regulars in the top of the lineup here for the Americans. Grant Moore is 2 for 3, Dalton Harper is 3 for 4, and Paul Delanto looking to improve upon his 2 for 3 day. They are responsible for 7 of the 8 hits here for the Americans. I mean, other players making their debuts have showed plenty of patience. Gismondi has walked 3 times. Raley has walked twice, been hit twice. Brady Bowles has the 8th hit for this team. And even Ramos has reached base despite no hits. So every runner, or every batter rather, for the Americans has reached base today, with the exception of Dylan Treadway and Logan Stickler. And Treadway has an RBI to his name on a ground out. And actually, Logan Stickler, yeah, no RBIs for Stickler, but some runs came in on his at-bat. Delanto fouls one off for strike 1. This rain finally has started to calm down to a drizzle as this game wraps up. Outside, ball 2. Or ball 1, rather. So it's a 1-1 count, as it's runners on second and third in this 13-4 ball game. The pitch driven into deep right field, and that'll be caught. Sack fly will end the ball game. The Americans win 14-4. Or excuse me, that is out number 3. My apologies. We head to the break. 13-4 lead.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the top of the 8th. My apologies there for the confusion on the number of outs. But the Americans 1 run away from the mercy rule in that 7th inning. They will have to play an 8th here. But if they pitch a clean inning and then score one more, this game is over. They have scored multiple runs each of the last 4 innings, and Brady Toney will keep pitching here in the 8th. Toney throws ball 1 outside to the batter, Jacob Haynes. 1-1 count. As the right-hander steps back in. A low and away, ball 2 on him. Haynes takes ball 3 outside. Nearly hits the dirt as well. Haynes on the day has singled, doubled, and flown out. He's 2 for 3. Swing and a miss. And Brady Toney retires the first batter of the inning on a strike. Or excuse me, it's 3-2 now. The pitch. Grounded foul. Brady Toney keeps throwing to Jacob Haynes. Fly ball, deep center field. But coming under it is Jake Hollins for out number 1. Jacob Haynes flying out to center. Or rather, that was Bremner. This is Jacob Haynes. Jacob Haynes coming up to bat now. My apologies for that one. Brady Toney has 1 out already. Looking for number 2, but that's low for ball 1. So Bremner flies out to center field, and now Jacob Haynes with the 1-0 count and 1 down. Two balls and no strikes. Jacob Haynes showing some patience here, takes that one outside for ball 3. Haynes steps back in. Could be a 4-pitch walk here. If Toney doesn't turn things around, it will be a 4-pitch walk. Up comes Nolan Smith, the extra hitter.
Stepping in number 14, the extra hitter, Nolan Smith.
And Nolan Smith on the day is 0 for 1 with a walk and a sac fly. Fouls strike 1 away. The Americans have scored in 6 out of 7 innings in today's game, the only exception being the 3rd inning. Tarp Skunks only scored in the 1st and 6th as Smith swings and misses on strike 2. Smith stepping back into the batter's box. With the 0-2 count and 1 down, runner on first is Jacob Haynes, who just walked inside for ball 1. As Toney keeps going, he came into the game in the 7th inning, or rather the 6th inning, and has kept pitching since then. Has retired 5 batters. Fly ball into deep center once again. Jake Hollins making the catch. He has been responsible for both the outs in this inning. Getting his work in for him. Chasing after those fly balls. Ty Lagoni up next. And our next game here at Sal Maglie will be a poster schedule giveaway against the Red Wings on Wednesday. ball one on Ty Lagoni. We'd like to remind you that this 8th inning is sponsored by Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino, the official casino of the Americans. More winning, more comfort, and more entertainment. Go to SenecaNiagaraCasino.com for more. So now it's 2 balls on Ty Lagoni with 2 down and Haynes on first. Pitch from Tony. Fly ball. Ends up a pop foul behind him into the stands. And now our own press box looking after the foul ball. But kids running behind us now to pick it up. And as I mentioned earlier in the game, those foul balls can be exchanged for snacks down at concessions. Should be some leftovers. There's plenty in stock. Foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2s across the board against number 2, Ty Lagoni. A very fun scoreboard right now. Will it be out number 3 here, though? No, it's ball number 3 first. That'll be the first 3 up there. As Brady Tony keeps pitching to Lagoni, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Or 1 for 3, rather. Line drive past the second baseman Raley for the base hit. Sliding in to make the play is Derek Gismondi in the outfield. He'll throw it back in, but it's still runners on the corners after the Ty Lagoni single. Up next is Eric Weeks looking to knock in the run with 2 down. And the Americans were very close to ending this one, but now some trouble for Brady Tony in this 8th inning. Eric Weeks today is 0 for 2 with a walk. Swings and misses for strike 1. Tony is set and now delivers. Foul ball into the stands. You're likely to hear some running kids again in just a moment here. Somebody got it. Not sure who, but fans looking to pass the time as the Americans look to end this game. Swing and miss for strike 3 to end the inning on Eric Weeks. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 8th as the Americans try to finish this out once and for all. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the bottom of the 8th, Dylan Treadway up to face Eddie Delansky, and he'll foul off the first pitch for strike 1. Treadway in this head-to-head with Delansky, down 0-1 in the count. Fouls off another. Treadway struck out his first 3 times up to bat. But then the RBI ground out in the 6th inning as he's down 0-2 in the count, hoping to avoid the golden sombrero here. Americans can win it 2 ways. They can score a 14th here and mercy rule the Tarp Skunks, or hold on and win it in the top of the 9th with a save. But Treadway will go down. Strike 3 and the golden sombrero for him, as Tristan Raley comes up to bat to succeed him with 1 down. Raley on the day has gone 0 for 0 actually. He's walked twice and been hit twice, takes strike 1. The 0-1 on the way from Delansky. Way inside to even up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 1's across the board. As Eddie Delansky will keep pitching to Tristan Raley, the second baseman, who's reached base every time today in a various number of ways. Way foul behind home plate into the stands. And the kids have had a good time today in the stadium chasing after all these foul balls behind home plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Delansky takes the edge in the count here against the batter Raley. Fly ball, going to be in shallow right field. And making the catch is Eric Weeks for out number 2. So 2 consecutive outs recorded here by the Tarp Skunks and Eddie Delansky. Logan Stickler, the extra hitter, up next. An 0 for 4 day for him. Only 1 strikeout, though, compared to Treadway's 4. And Stickler will take ball 1 inside. Logan Stickler, fresh out of high school, the York, Pennsylvania commit. Attends high school in Pennsylvania as well. And takes strike 1 on the low inside corner. Logan Stickler, a super utility. Can play the infield, can pitch. Got to wonder if we'll even maybe see some time in the outfield this season. But a ball low on Stickler as he takes the lead in the count. The pitch fouled off. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs as Logan Stickler is even in the count with Eddie Delansky now. And the 2-2 pitch in just a moment here from Eddie Delansky. Driven down the third base line for the base hit. It's Stickler's first of his Americans career. He's headed towards second, tries for the double. They will call it a stand-up double for Logan Stickler. Extra base hit in this bottom of the 8th inning, and he represents the game-ending run as Alan Ramos comes up with 2 down. If he can drive in Stickler, he ends this game for the Americans. So Stickler struggled to find his touch in the first few innings, but he has certainly shown that he can be a valuable piece to this Americans team. Now has the lead at second. Ball 1 outside and low on Alan Ramos. He plays third today in his first game as an American. Played a lot of shortstop in high school as well, but playing a good third base today. And Delansky checks back, now pitches, fouled off for strike 1 to even up the count on Ramos. And Ramos on the day has walked, but other than that is 0 for 3. Struck out once. Takes ball 2 outside. And came in, moved into the apartments up at Niagara University, joined his teammates at the start of this weekend. His dad, Pedro, has been in town, been a big supporter of the team all weekend long. We'd like to thank Pedro for coming out to the games this weekend. Pitch is lined to second base for out number 3, and Stickler's stranded on second. The Americans are going to have to finish this off in the top of the 9th. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Top of the 9th here at Sal Magley, and Brady Toney continues pitching, and could be a save opportunity for him. He will have gone the final 3 innings of the game if he can finish this out and give the Americans the 13-4 victory. So it would be an unconventional save for his second of the season. But this 9th inning is sponsored by Casella, Salino Plumbing, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Wright Beverages, providing our entire beer garden's worth of beverages down on the third base line. Thank you, Wright Beverages, for supplying Deb's Beer Garden, named after the late Deb Chabot, Robbie Nichols, the owner's sister. And a hit by pitch on the first pitch here. And that was to a pinch hitter. So the pinch hitter on first base now is Branston Lindquist. And now another pinch hitter into the ball game. Or rather, it is the DH, Nico Frizzell. So Frizzell has a runner on first in the form of Lindquist. That one gets past Jesmondi for the hit, and it'll go for the double, possibly more. He's going 3 bases. Could this be an inside the Parker? It will be. And going all the way around to score 2 runs for the Tarp Skunks is Nico Frizzell. So, Brady Toney has not had quite the success he had in his first few innings, but still hoping to finish this game out and go over 3 innings to end this out. So the pinch hitter, Lindquist, scored on that one. Frizzell with the inside the Parker. You don't see that often. Swing and miss for strike 1. Or strike 2, rather, on Aiden Nolasco. Takes one low. No, they'll call it strike 3 for out number 1 on these Tarp Skunks. After the inside, the Parker made this 13-6, but now it's the top of the 9th. So if Toney can retire 2 more batters, this game is over. The Americans would win it. And the pinch hitter now, Cole Swift, stepping in for Brady McGuire. Takes strike 1. The strike zone has gotten a little wider as the game goes on. That one outside, though, and in the low corner for ball 1. So ones across the board, balls, strikes, outs, as Cole Swift now in for Brady McGuire. Swift batting .500. Product of Salisbury, the same school as Muck Dog's third baseman, Jackson Inman. 2 balls and 1 strike on him from Toney. Make that ball 3. Cole Swift had an RBI for the Tarp Skunks earlier this season. Swift fly ball in foul territory. And making the catch will be Dylan Treadway for out number 2. So Cole Swift retired on what ends up being more of a pop-out in foul territory. He hit 2, or rather McGuire hit one that way before being pinch hit for, and it was pretty much the same result. Another pinch hitter, Dom Costello, coming in. To face Brady Toney, who would record the 3-inning long save, fouls. And Costello fouls strike 1 out of here. Pitch from Toney on the 0-1. Check swing. He went strike 2. So Brady Toney 1 strike away from 3 1/3 clean innings of baseball. Or maybe not quite clean, but nonetheless has gotten the job done with the run support from the Americans. Ball 1 outside. Toney still 1 strike away here. Foul ball down the third baseline into the bleachers. And Dom Costello trying to dig out of this 1-2 hole. Chopper foul down the first baseline. Brady Toney returning to the bump with the 1-2 count on Dom Costello. 286 hitter here for the Tarp Skunks this season. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Costello. It's game over. The Americans win 13-6. They almost had it in 7 innings, but they win nonetheless. And they are now an undefeated 4-0, sole possession of first place in the PGCBL. And this is the first of 2 matchups here between these teams over the next couple days. This will continue Tuesday after a day off with the second half of a home and home over in Jamestown. It's a Tuesday matinee, June 10th at 11 a.m. The Americans head to Jamestown, face the Tarp Skunks. That will be right here on the Americans Baseball Network. The Americans also return home Wednesday to face the Geneva Red Wings. We'll be giving out poster schedules here at the ballpark in that game. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Apologies for some of the technical difficulties and errors down the stretch, but for now, that has been all here on the Americans Baseball Network. I've been your play-by-play broadcaster, Andrew Roberts. We thank you so much for tuning in here. Final score, Americans 13, Tarp Skunks 6. 9 hits and 4 errors for the Americans, 8 hits, 8 errors for the Tarp Skunks. Thank you so much.